Happy Monday, everyone. My apologies for being a little late today. It's just kind of been one of those hectic days where the phone keeps ringing and people keep coming. So I am a little late started today, but this kind of actually ties in a little bit to what I was going to discuss today about painting on a deadline. How many of you are doing that these days? I am currently doing an online art show. I made the big announcement the other day that I'm taking part in an autumn show in October. I think the dates are 5th to 7th, October 5th to 7th. So I have to have 3 square foot paintings done, signed, and sealed and photographed by September 25th, which is an unusual timeline for me. I usually, work for myself. I rarely take part in group shows, but this is an exciting event and I'm excited about it. But it also has created a bit of anxiety for me because I have the pressure to create something really special for this show. And I want them to be really good, of course. And it's a short amount of time that I've got to get this done. And then, of course, the more I see what other people are creating, the more anxiety I have because their paintings are so amazing. And I want to really produce some good work. So there's that internal dichotomy going on. And do you feel that when you're under pressure? Sometimes it can really be to your benefit because there are the days when it really brings out stuff from you that you don't even know is there. So I've been focusing on that side of the coin because that's how I like to work. Yeah, it's a deadline. And that anxiety you can use to push yourself a little further. And I've used that same anxiety when I've done commission work and I've been working on things that I normally would not. It sends you in different directions, and it's very, very important to keep pushing the envelope. Push that edge a little further. It's very, very valuable to make sure you do work under a deadline every now and again. So don't stay in your comfort zone. And even if you're not doing a deadline for a show, sometimes you need to just really get a creative partner that you can be accountable to. I've done that with my writing and my painting. And it's somebody, get a friend or a colleague or an art person who you can check in with on occasion and say, hey, I painted today. Yes, I did. You can, because you know what? I don't think artists are lazy. They're really not. And I'm not quite sure what it is about that, but we tend to get distracted easily. We're observers. We want to be partaking in life. We don't always want to be sitting at our easel by ourselves alone. Painting and writing is a solitary act, and sometimes we're just wondering what the rest of the world is doing. And we're always, thinking about that to do list and wanting to be productive in a day. And we don't always give ourselves credit for sitting at the easel and working with our paintbrush in our hand. That is being productive. So sometimes it is vital to have an accountability partner and to give yourself that kind of a deadline. Yeah, by the end of the week, I'm going to hook up with my partner. That didn't sound right. Don't take that the wrong way. You're going to check in with your accountability partner. Or maybe you should sign up for a group show, an online show, or perhaps you should join an art gallery. Galleries tend to also put a bit of pressure on. I know when I was in art galleries in years past, they would want a certain number of paintings within a certain time frame, which was always good because it pushed me. It gave me that little nudge that I sometimes needed. It can be very, very beneficial. And then there are other times when, you know what, you're just not in the mood for painting, nothing's going right. And I was like that on Saturday. I had made the decision that I was going to get this canvas drawn on and ready to go and get started. That was my time frame. And no matter what happened, I couldn't get it to come together. I kept drawing it on and wiping it off, drawing it on and wiping it off. And I finally realized that it was better to take my book and go outside and sit in the sun and read, because I would get more done the next day. And sure enough, Sunday morning comes around, I went to my easel, I drew on the canvas, and I got it started just like within minutes. It was just boom, 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 and boom. So you do have to know yourself and know when you're in that creative space, and don't force it to happen, because it will come when it comes. And the more you try to force it on yourself, the worse it's going to get. Yeah, I could have spent all evening on Saturday working on this canvas and it would not have turned out. So you have to, it's a fine line, that inspiration, creativity, and the deadline and the world and what's going on. And like today, I had a dear friend stop by the studio, and it was very important that I sat and talked to her. She needed a friend, and yeah, I was a little late for my 10-minute Monday. I kind of, ironically, I missed the deadline of 1 o'clock for my 1 o'clock 10-minute Monday today. That's a bit ironic, but that is how the life of an artist is. I am pretty flexible to be able to work when I want and how long I want to work. And I can, most of the time, take the time to paint when I'm really feeling inspired. And there are other days when I really just have to get my butt in gear and get to work and make it happen. So it's a fine line, this creative life. And it comes from experience. And yeah, you just have to learn to roll with it. You got to take the pushes when you can get them, because the deadline pushes you to get going. And that is very valuable. Sometimes we need these little tricks to get us to get motivated and to stay focused. Focus is always a difficult thing for anybody in any career. So if you can keep focused, hey, do whatever it takes to get there and to be successful. But don't put too much pressure on yourself. In May, there was a Create Every Day in May. Do you remember that? Jill McDougall started that little initiative, and it was wonderful. And I think those are a bit of a deadline type of thing. And again, these are tools to help you create more in a day and to make your art better. The more you paint, the more you're going to be a better painter. The more you play the piano, the better pianist you're going to be. So these are all important things to really get an understanding of and take advantage of deadlines. Deadlines can be great. Even if you're painting until the 11th hour, it's still a good thing. You're going to produce, sometimes you produce your best work when you're not thinking about it. And when you're just painting because you have to paint, that can be a totally different realm than when you are in your studio, chilled, relaxing with a cup of tea, and I'll paint when I paint, and I'll get this done when I get it done. That's a totally different piece of work than when you're actually, under the gun and got to get this deadline met. So give me a note. Let me know what your thoughts are on deadlines. How do you handle them? Do you meet them? Do you get them done ahead of time? How do you feel about things? Let me know. And yeah, and I will meet you back here at 1 o'clock next week. Have a good week, and yeah, see you then. Bye.